Hey everybody, Professor D'Souza here with a quick overview of how your grade is computed. I know some of you are curious about this and it's in the syllabus and we will go over it next week. So this is a weighted average grade. Now the idea of a weighted average is that you have different components of the grade and each component has a different weight. So you can see some of those weights over here. I'm going to share my screen here and just highlight here for you the different components. So attendance and participation, homework, and exams. Those are the three main categories of your grade. It's broken up like this. 5% of your grade is going to be measured by attendance and participation. 20% for homework problems, which are computational problems, and we'll get more into what those are when we start chapter 1. 20% are assessments, which are like multiple choice true false. Again, we'll get more into this as we get into the chapter 1 content. And then we've got 3 exams. One will be 10% of your grade. The second one will be 15% of your grade, and the third exam, which is going to be your final exam, is going to be 30% of your grade. Each of these components adds up to 100% of a grade. So each section has like a different weight, and the weights are intentional. And here's my intent. I want 50% of your grade to be prep and practice, and then 50% to be exams. And I'll call your attention to kind of this visual over here. This is my attempt to kind of show that this is not a linear process. Learning is iterative, and it's kind of having all of these different components kind of work together. So as you come to class and you get introduced to new concepts, you're going to have to do the homework to kind of reinforce what we're discussing in class. And I want you to think about, if for those of you who have worked, think about your job. Think about what you knew on day 1 of your job versus what you knew on day 30 versus day 60 versus day 90. You probably knew not a lot on day 1, but by day 30, 60, 90, and so on, you knew a lot more. And you knew because you were showing up, doing the work, you were listening, you were applying what you were learning to the job and just becoming better at what you did. So in terms of the computation of the weighted grade, we're going to walk through some of what that looks like. I'm going to have you guys, we're going to double up kind of the class time and learn about the grade, but also get some spreadsheet time in as well. I want all of you doing as much spreadsheet work as possible throughout the course. This is a little spreadsheet that I've created. What I'm going to do is have you guys create it on your end. It's a really basic way to get introduced to Excel or Google Sheets, especially if you've never used it before. All I did was I kind of like just created a little table here. I'll show you how I did it. I typed all this in and then I shaded it. I put in some borders and some shading. This yellow cell right here is your final semester grade. That's what you guys are probably most interested in. Now, part of creating a spreadsheet like this and kind of working through the math and the mechanics of the math is figuring out how does that final grade get computed. And that's what we're going to do in class as part of this spreadsheet exercise. Each grade component is listed here. I went over it, with the previous visual that was on the screen. And then this is what I'm saying is the weight for each component, okay? This is what you're going to be earning, your score, okay? So if I input 100% for attendance, for homework, you're going to see that the weight pulls over here. Like basically, this is set up to compute that your weight times the score is what your semester score for that component is. That's how this works. We'll go over this math in more detail next week. So let's say that you get to the exams, and exam number 1, you score maybe a 70%. Maybe you were a little stressed. Maybe you didn't prep as much. Maybe you thought you prepped enough, but you didn't. The idea here is I want to create space for you to retweak your approach so that when you come around to exam number 2, you're prepping that much, you're prepping differently to earn a better score. By the time you take the final, you're earning an A on the final, and your total semester score is closing in on an A as well. We'll go into more detail on this. We will kind of use this as an opportunity to have a little bit of spreadsheet experience, a little spreadsheet exercise. We'll go more into it next week when we meet again. Thank you.